everybody. Good evening. Welcome to No Ideas Original Sports. Here with Reem and Theo again for another great show. How you
Yes,
guys
sir.
doing?
What's going on?
All good, my bros. No complaints over here.
Good, man.
Yeah, likewise.
So we got a lot of basketball talk because we full into it. So I figured let's take care of the other stuff first, man.
hmm
Let's start with the Errol Spence eye injury, man. I see Theo smiling already. What do you guys think happened with that, man?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it was sparring. Was it a torn retina? Is what it is. So I mean, torn retina is generally something serious. It's nothing to play around with. So how long has the fight been postponed?
I don't think they have. They don't have a date yet, do they? For the.
No, that's no thing because the Finland fighter is Ugas. I don't know because Ugas, he the guy who fought Sean Porter maybe a few years ago in a tough fight. Something like he beat Sean Porter. He actually was on the same card as well, but he's going to fight in the main event now and replace Errol Spence. He was a tough fighter for Mike Pacquiao, so I give Pacquiao credit for fighting somebody who's known legitimate, who's tough. He kicked it back out the fight and said, "Nah, I'll pass and wait."
Yeah.
But Ugas is tough.
All right. At least they got somebody in there on that notice. I know. What was funny is after the accident, didn't Errol Spence's eye look a little different to begin with?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was kind of like one of his eyes were like a little droopy.
Yeah. I
hmm
wonder if that was the. I wonder if that was the same one or something. But I noticed. Yeah. After the accident, it didn't look the same.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Well said,
Yeah.
Kenyatta. I noticed that too as well. It could be a continuation from the car accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good that it happened at all, but I guess better in sparring or whatever the case may be than the actual fight. You don't want to see it happen at all, but if a guy is gonna get injured like that, let it be before the main event.
Yeah. Get out there and it would have lasted 2 or 3 rounds because he got hit and then it been a stoppage or something crazy or something.
Right.
So we
And
got some
plus, odds
interesting
are the
fights.
guy who caught him in sparring is probably not the same as Manny Pacquiao.
No, I'm doubting that. I
hmm
mean, sometimes you try to match the sparring partner as close to to the fighter, so maybe it's a high output guy, but I, I don't know. If that's the case, the sparring partner should be looking to fight Manny Pacquiao or something.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Look,
I would
you
assume
know,
there's some. I would assume something lingering from the car accident. To tell you the
yeah,
truth.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. Hopefully he gets over it quick because you don't want to have nothing that's just lingering like for long term or something.
hmm
Where these things affect him. This car accident might have affected his career long term.
Agree.
Yeah, immediately, like when I hear the torn retina, I think back to Amari Stoudemire. He had to start wearing all type of goggles when he played, right? Because before that, he wasn't wearing the goggles.
I don't think
And
they're
I
gonna
think
let
he
you
got
wear
poked in
goggles
the
out there in
eye,
a
tore his
boxing match.
retina. So I don't think you could box with goggles on, as far as
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Right.
happens.
first
Plus, I
guy
remember
boxing.
Amari was saying that the recovery was kind of grueling because he had to lay down like face
Face
first or
down.
something for
Yeah,
20 something hours, 30 hours, whatever it is. So it's not an easy injury to come back from,
Right.
especially in boxing where you're bound to get hit in the face.
Right.
So
Agree.
it's definitely something to look out for with Spence going forward.
so he's either got to go with one or two strategies. He's either got to fight somebody easy to see how it is, or go for the big payday because this might be the last one. So that's
Yeah, that's a good one. That retina is funny. That retina is definitely funny. You know how severe it is. Like
yeah,
a Mari severe. We don't know. But our retina is a toe. Our retina is very serious, no matter how severe it is or how light it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
So he definitely have an option to think about, I guess, as far as like go for a big payday or go with somebody light. You know what I'm saying, to warm up, get back in shape
yeah,
and feel the thing, then go for that big payday. So interesting, man.
yeah, definitely. So in the major leagues, we had a pitcher his first start hit a no hitter in the first start, Tyler Gilbert. To me, that's real impressive. The first. Well, the one thing is he was able to get his first start
I think we lose Ken there for a minute.
Yeah, I think he froze up a little bit.
But yeah, I seen Gilbert. I guess the only way for him to go is down, so to speak. you know,
Right.
but what a hell of a start to his career. And I think was he just picked up via trade? I think he may have just been picked up via trade or something, and this was his first start. So to see a guy go out there and throw a no hitter against the Padres of all teams, too, right? The Padres are a good hitting team,
Yeah,
tough team.
definitely, definitely a dream come true scenario. Something you dream about in your sleep all the time, and you know. So that being said, that's definitely in record books for him. So God bless him and his family. His family was there too as well, to witness it as well. So yeah, your first major league start ever in your career, man, a no hitter. That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
achievement right there, man. So
yeah.
kudos
That's
to him for
huge.
sure. Kudos for
I'm
sure. And
not
like you
sure.
said, I'm sorry. Like you said, the lineup is crazy, man. The Padres got a lineup. I don't mind the pitching too much, but that lineup is definitely vicious, man, for sure, man. So
Yeah, to go out there and do it in general is impressive, but especially against a team like that, you know.
yeah, with Machado and other guy, I forgot his name. Tatis, 'cause Tatis is just I don't know, man. They got
Yeah,
Hauser, they got from KC and the Free C a few years ago. So from 1 to 9, man, they're definitely potent, man. They're an issue. So, but baseball needed that too as well. Baseball, they needed that.
yeah, yeah.
They
Agree.
needed that. So, yeah, some big news. Besides, other sports always dominate baseball for the last couple of years. So having that pitch no hitter, I think it might be the eighth or ninth no hitter this season. Matter of fact,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, it sounds like a lot right there. That sounds like a lot.
I wonder
Sounds
what
like a
the
lot.
record is for a single season.
When I seen his soldier's name, I seen flashbacks at 8, so I didn't bother to research that. I should research that for sure, and see how many what the record is, man. So it gotta be more than 8, that's for sure, because they had 8 this year. So
Yeah, yeah. It's
yes,
definitely impressive.
hmm I think he lost a game afterwards. After that, I think he's 1-1 now. I think he
Oh,
lost to
did
the
he?
Giants. Yeah, I think he lost to the Giants recently. So now he's I guess he's humble or back to earth, so to speak. With the other pitchers.
It's one of those things too, like you said, Theo, where I think baseball kind of needed that
Yeah,
shot in the
yeah,
arm,
basically,
something
yes.
exciting to happen.
Some excitement, right, right, right. I think the trade deadline was very exciting too, as well. The trade deadline could give a good attention getter, so to speak. So this year's trade deadline was good for baseball as far as all the
Yeah,
transactions. And to have this kid come along with a no hitter, man, was just something good for baseball, man.
yeah. We were saying Kenyatta that not only is it impressive, obviously, that the guy threw a no hitter, but to do it against the Padres of all teams, and the Padres are a hell of a hitting team.
I believe that they tied the record too. I think 8 is the record for a season.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
cool.
so
Yeah,
We were just talking about that.
yeah, 8 is the record for the season. So that's a lot. 8 no hitters
Yes.
one season. I mean, it seems like baseball kind of swings back and forth because this is definitely not a big time hitters year. You look at the averages; these averages looks like the 1980s, like where 300 batting average was the high or something like. How many?
Mm,
yeah,
I wonder how many people are batting like over 320 this year. Is there even a person batting over 320?
not too many.
Yeah, not
Right
too
now,
many.
yeah, right now, we batting 270s, 275. That's all star status, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all
yeah. That's
star
a good
status.
point.
So, hmm
That's a big time change from the knocking the ball off the cover out of the park stuff they had going
right.
on.
Yeah, looking at it now, Michael Brantley from Houston is the league leader in batting average, batting 332. Then the next two guys are batting 318. So it's only one guy over 320 this year.
Mm.
Wow, wow.
Single guy. Home runs seem to be down too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Otani is
base.
leading the
Yeah,
league still 39 homers.
yeah. Ain't no more doctoring a baseball on the mound. No
yeah,
residue,
yeah.
no more residue on your cap, man. While you're twisting out ball on the mound. Let me tell you that story, man. I kid you not. I mean, it's a subject, but I went to my grandma's house one time. My grandma was a big Met fan.
Okay.
And dude, Dwight Gooden's good years. And I'm gonna tell you this one time, I'm very sure. I could have sworn I saw Dwight Gooden use a rocking bag substance on the board as well. And at the time, I played baseball, so I was young, like 12, 13, whatever, So I'm like, do you put that? Isn't that illegal to myself? For you to put it, he didn't even do it on his hand, rub his hand. He did it and then grabbed the ball, and then it was like, massaging the ball, man. I was like, I don't know, I think he cheated, man, but Dwight was still great nonetheless.
Yeah, all that the spin rates then dropped dramatically after they said none of that substances or something.
Yeah.
Because I know guy on the Yankees, he's taking a beating after that.
Yeah, Garrett Cole.
Yeah,
Yes.
that spin rate dropped dramatically. Like somebody the guy on Tampa Bay actually complained he got hurt. I'm like, how did you get hurt from not being able to doctor the ball up? You got hurt. They should have did this after the season or something.
Right. I think Garrett Cole had maybe like 2 shaky starts.
Yeah.
After that too, then he got back in his groove of things and guess like that. So
yeah,
man.
From his cap to like his wristband or something.
And I think Cole is just coming back now again, right, from COVID, I think.
Yeah, he's supposed to pitch tomorrow.
I mean, hey, speaking of Yankees and Mets, well, the Yankees, to their credit, other than playing against the White Sox, who seemed like a juggernaut, they were doing really well, playing really well. The White Sox are tough.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. The Yankees look like there's some of the players that turned it around. The averages are coming up a little bit. LeMahieu's looking a little better. I like the Gallo pickup. And this guy seems to play well for them in clutch. Rougned Odor, he seems to play well for them in the clutch.
I love that guy, man. Yeah. I love that dude, Odor. I love Odor.
Yeah,
definitely do. He's a good player.
He's playing well for them.
Yeah. Those trades helped out a lot. Those trades for Rizzo and Gallo helped out a lot, man.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I think the Yankees, they needed like a shot in the arm.
Yeah.
And those trades, were kind of like you said, helped them out.
Yeah. On the flip side, the Mets look like the wheels done came off or something. I don't know what happened there. Like and then these last games against the Dodgers, I mean, come fight all the way back only to lose in extra innings on home runs and stuff. Like very winnable games though. But again, this guy DeGrom is out too.
Yeah, he better for a while.
Yeah,
better for a good while.
Yeah, and then this guy got derailed. What's his name? Thor. He got derailed. He was supposed to come back.
Did he pitch this year, Thor? Syndergaard?
No. He was indoor pitching in the minor leagues, and they said he felt some soreness, so they pulled him back up. So he hasn't pitched at all.
That's tough.
And then he went out there and got beat up by Zach Wheeler.
Yeah. Former teammate,
candidate. They said Zach Wheeler. So they got some interesting stuff going on, but
you're falling apart, man. That's what it is, basically.
I think the Yankees can squeeze, and I think the Mets. I think it might be over with.
Well, the schedule. When you play a team like the Nationals, and the Phillies is tough. You got to beat those teams.
Yeah.
Because now, you play Nationals, and Nationals playing you tough, and you can't beat the Pirates, you can't beat the Reds, and now all of a sudden you're playing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
3-game series, 3-4 series. After the Dodgers, you're playing the Giants.
Yeah, they got the West Coast trip. Yeah.
Right, and then after the Giants, you got to play the Dodgers again for 3-4 more game series.
Wow.
So so
it could be over in the next week or so, basically.
Right. Well,
like it,
yeah, if the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs.
Oh wow.
That's right. They're in third place in their own division.
After leading the division this all the way through up until this last week, right?
About last week and a half, ever since the All-Star break, give or take, a few days. Since the All-Star break, they fell apart.
Yeah. the good thing for them is that neither one of these teams, the Braves or the Phillies, nobody's like really like tearing it up or something. Plus, the Braves and Phillies played each other, so that helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
true.
not.
Definitely.
It's still not out of distance, but I can see it getting real ugly in the next week or so.
Yeah, when you play the Giants and Dodgers, 9 or 12 straight times, that could be
Yeah.
very, very difficult.
Yep. They can go from being down. I think it might be like maybe 1.5 games, two now to being down 10 real fast.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're
Exactly.
2 games back.
Yeah.
2 games back. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
And like you said, it's not like the Braves are tearing it up. So they got a little bit of a shot, but they got to turn it around quick. Because like Theo
Yeah.
said, that schedule is rough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they said the Phillies might have the easiest schedule out of any team left or something like that.
That's
So,
not good.
Yeah, that's not a good
Yeah,
thing for the Mets or the
not
Braves.
good.
not at all. So, moving on, we got a lot of basketball to talk about. A lot. I said we got some interesting things. I think let's start with the big teams, not the summer league stuff. Let's start with LeBron or something. What do we think LeBron needs to win? Because right now, I mean, the Schroeder thing, that whole thing fell apart. I mean, I don't think they pretty much care for Schroeder anyway because they really didn't pursue him like that. But I mean, he's working out with Westbrook right now, so that's a plus. But I mean, Dwight Howard, Westbrook, and who? I mean, do you think he needs more? Does he have enough? I mean, healthy Anthony Davis. I mean,
What
I don't
what
know.
who, if any, in terms of shooters, did they bring in? Because they definitely need people to space the floor. Because
Uh,
LeBron is not really obviously a knockdown shooter. Same thing with Westbrook, right? He struggles from the perimeter.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, depending on who you get, right? Which Davis shows up, he can hit outside shots, but do you even want him living out there? So I think they need some
Um.
shooters.
Yeah. The shooters that we call Kent Bazemore, Wayne
yeah,
Ellington,
Yeah,
Wayne Ellington. Melo's out there too as well.
yeah,
Um. And they got the kid Malik Monk, man. And Malik Monk
yeah.
from
yeah, I
Charlotte. Got
like
those
him.
shooters.
I
So
think.
yeah, they got shooters, right? Them guys, they are the well-respected shooters. I can say that.
Yeah, I, you know what's funny too? Like one of the things that a lot of people discount with this is that LeBron only gets a year older each time every year, and it seems like to me, it's not that he's getting bad, but I'm sure this is all taking a toll on him or something too. If he's got to go out there and be expect to be the number one guy at every statistical category again, I mean, you can't go into the playoffs with him trying to play 82 games and lead you in every category. Is a lot.
Plus, I wonder about the fit with him and Westbrook in terms of playing off the ball because both of them definitely need the ball because neither one of them can really shoot too well. So if you got LeBron playing that point forward role, what is Westbrook doing? You can't really put him in the corner and expect him to knock down shots because he can't shoot. So I
I
wonder
want to
about
see
the
what they're
fit.
gonna
It
do.
seems nice on paper. I just wonder how it pans out.
I want to see
Um,
what they're gonna do when you got Westbrook, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Carmelo on the court at the same time. If they're gonna put out another basketball, who's shooting in that one?
I think at least
yeah,
Carmelo kind of got used to playing in that, you know, secondary, third, fourth option type of role with Portland at least. And I could see him, more than happy to sit in the corner. Yeah, I think Carmelo kind of played that USA basketball Carmelo Anthony role, where he kind of just sat in the corner, shot the threes from the wings.
Yeah,
I think he'll be fine in that role. I just wonder what Westbrook does when he's out there with LeBron, or do they try to stagger their minutes? Or
well, the Lakers benefit by having those guys. So this is right. They could, curb the minutes of AD and Braun. If AD is healthy, they should be the favorite because there's no answer for AD. There's no answer for AD, honestly. But it allows Westbrook and Melo to take over games. Let Braun sit a few times. And let them do the Popovich scenario when
Yeah.
the guys is sitting out games for mystery reasons, so to speak. But they have the players in place to let AD and Braun rest, man. Going into the playoffs, so you got to be on cruise control for 82 games. Come playoff time, yeah, like I guess get ready for the championship run because all you need is 1 to 4 seed. You don't need to be number one seed. Just be a top four seed to get home court advantage. But that be takes off some wear and tear off the legs of these guys with the addition of all these guys we mentioned, including Melo and Westbrook. And so listen, man, fourth quarter, we're gonna sit this one out, man. We're gonna play Kenyatta and Reed Theo, man. Let them win the game for us, so to speak. Got the plays, man. All about health right now for those guys.
I would argue that the Nets did just as much, if not better, than they did. You got
From
Patty Mills coming over there when Kyrie Irving decides that he wants to go off the deep end. They picked up the kid Cam Thomas. They got the kid Dayron Sharp. They brought back Griffin. They got James Johnson. They got Javon Carter, Bembry. So they actually filled in for parts they needed. Like these guys are all defenders that don't necessarily command the ball a lot. Cam Thomas can come in and knock down shots. He can get some in a sharp to it. He rebounds. So that looks like they got rid of some of the guys that might have been like questionable. And it's still the Nets whole thing is if Joe Harris could hit anything, they would have beat Milwaukee. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. And JJ Redick is still out there and he's considering where he's gonna go. And they said he got family in Brooklyn. So
Yeah, I know
that's
when he was playing with Philly, his family was based out of Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yeah, they enjoyed living in Brooklyn. So
I like the Patty Mills edition for sure. I do not like them letting go of Jeff Green to Denver. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Um, there's two things I ask you, Kenyatta. First of all, who's playing center with their roster and with their rotation? You rely on a lot of the guys coming out of college, man, who's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
playing against grown men that you're gonna really ask to contribute to Cam Thomas and the Dank and what's this Sharp.
Yeah.
They got it. So you guys, I ain't saying you asking a lot, you know what I'm saying, but you guys are for a good portion of these guys to play well throughout the season, man.
Yeah.
Against grown men. There's ain't some league for those guys, man. So, I think nothing need to add somebody else if they can. I'm not quite sure who's out there. Maybe a Laura Marketing kid from Chicago. He'd be good for them. Play selling. If you could do a sign trade, that'd be a very good addition for those guys. But they need more solid, I think, and more experience right now. As of right now, I would say. And
I
I think
think it's something.
I think add Laura Marketing. That'd be good. I think he's a good player.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll be able to get him because he's asking for a lot of money. But I know some of the
Mm,
veteran people they're looking at is a guy like Kenneth Fareed and those type of guys. Even this guy came in for a tryout. Lance Stevenson came in.
mm.
He came in for a tryout. So I would still say that they should look at somebody, a big man or something. Either that or get Steve Nash to recognize that DeAndre Jordan is still on the bench. One of
Yeah.
those something. I mean, for the
yeah,
life of me, I still don't understand that. But
yeah, I think he should be. I think Jordan should be playing in a good amount of minutes too. When he was playing, I thought he looked okay out
yeah,
there.
I mean, there's no reason why he can't play at least 24 minutes. He can play 24 minutes. They could bridge it out with the rest of those guys, but not playing at all.
And I
Right.
still think I still think he has his explosiveness. He still
Yeah,
looks, healthy, mobile. I don't know what the problem is. Why he
yeah. That
just
that
stopped
whole
getting
thing was
minutes.
confusing. I didn't get that. That whole thing was confusing. Why he didn't play? I mean, unless he was hurt or something, I still don't understand why he never got a chance to play.
Plus, the other thing is like Theo mentioned. Who do you have running the spot? I could see if they still had Jared Allen, right? It made a little sense to sit Jordan when you had Allen, I would say. But
Yeah,
now you traded him away, and you have Jordan there just riding the pine for guys. Claxton, I think, is okay. Is he better than Jordan? I would rather have Jordan out there with Claxton maybe learning behind him or something like that. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't like Blake Griffin playing center
No.
and KD playing, I guess, a point four, playing small, I guess, stretch four. Yeah, I don't like that right now. I guess you gotta have Blake, Joe Harris, KD, the Beard, and Kyrie.
I think to some degree, like maybe against Milwaukee, you could get away with it because at one point Milwaukee was running Giannis at the center. So you can't have a conventional big out there trying to guard Giannis out on the perimeter. But outside of something like that, Jordan, I would have him out there playing a good amount of minutes. The only thing that
Yeah,
scares me with both the Nets and Lakers is both of them almost seem like they kind of sort of built their rosters to meet each other in the finals. And I think sometimes when you do that, you're playing a dangerous game because you're building for one particular type of team, and then you go against a completely different other team in the playoffs, and you might run into some problems. Like for example, if the Hawks come back relatively healthy and play as well as they did, they could give the Nets some problems.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who guards Trey Young causes havoc. I don't know who guards him on the Nets.
I think it'll be, what the difference is with them playing Atlanta is that all those guys that had all that freedom of movement in those other series, they won't be able to do that against the Nets because you have to guard these guys. Kyrie Irving is probably the best offensive guy with the ball in his hand in the game as far as creating his own shot and getting his own. Trey Young, he'll pick up 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes or something. They'll have to put somebody else. It's just bad matchup for Atlanta. It's bad matchup for the Nets too. But when it comes down to who the referee gonna blow the whistle for, they're gonna blow it for KD, Harden, and Kyrie. Which is it's like that. That's gonna help out a lot. They'll get a lot of calls, and the game will get slowed down. So that'll be interesting. Where they'll lose at is probably at the bigger spots or something. But even with that, they can make that up.
And
Some of these other teams
the Hawks are
just
a
think,
deep team. They come at you in waves. They got even deeper, I would say, in this draft because based on summer league, Sharif Cooper is looking legit. Jalen Johnson is looking like a problem. So
the only thing is somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to go.
I think
hmm
Cam Reddish
They
seems
just
to be
paid.
like one of those people who may be out.
Well, they just paid Henson 125 million or something, and Jalen Johnson's going to be his
Oh yeah,
backup.
Collins, yeah.
Yes, Collins, yeah, they paid him, so Johnson's going to have to be his backup. And if they
And they
paid him
got
that type of
Hunter. They
money to
got
trade him, people should look up now because that's not a bad deal. It's not a max deal, so that's not a bad deal. Then you look at again, is Gallinari still on the team?
yeah. They got Gallinari. They
Yeah,
got
you got.
DeAndre Hunter, Herter.
Well,
They
that's
got a deep
that's
team.
the problem. You got Gallinari, Herder, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Bogdan Bogdanovic. So you got 6 guys to play 2 positions, and then you
Lou
got
Williams, is he still there? Lou
yeah,
Williams.
he's still there, and then you got Lou Williams, Sharif Cooper, and Trey Young. So they can score a lot of points or something, but I don't even know who they could trade for. They might want to look for some kind of veterans or some kind of defensive players or something. Maybe give up
Yeah,
somebody to get
yeah.
a defender or something in there.
They have been trying to trade Cam Reddish for a while now, but so far no takers.
I think what it is that people want Cam Reddish, they just don't want to pay the price. Like I mean, he's still on a rookie deal, so that's a little tough. Like I'm
Mm,
sure somebody give you some stuff for Cam Reddish, just that you ain't gonna want the stuff. Like right now, so I'm sure there's plenty of teams. If they right now, you can get him. You just got to give up a lot.
right.
Like another team that I'd look at along the lines of Atlanta, with that has going to have a lot of young talent. I don't know how many balls Golden State's going to have, or who's going to play because you got Kaminga and Moody, you got Wiggins, you got Thompson coming back, you got Steph who's going to play almost every minute. You got the kid from Michigan that's still there. So right now, I just 9 guys for 3 positions, and then you got Draymond Green and James Wiseman. That's it. So they got an interesting thing. Steph's not coming off the
And
court.
then the other big Looney is there.
Looney's there, and if Klay Thompson's healthy, he's not coming off the court. So
Yeah, it's a good and bad problem to have.
I mean, just talking about the NBA. There's a lot of people with that. Theo called this. What's going to happen with Sacramento? So you got Darian Fox, you drafted Halliburton, you got Davion Mitchell killing everybody. Who's going to play that?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm them,
Right
I
now,
would have
I don't know.
probably
I might put Halliburton on the bench.
the way it's looking.
Halliburton starting. Halliburton starting, man.
If I was
Yeah,
them,
they're
I
not
would
gonna put
probably
Fox on
look
the
to.
bench. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I was them, I would maybe look to trade Fox. And I think Fox is the better right now. He's the best out of all three of them, I would say. But he's on a crazy max contract. And
yeah,
how much more is he giving you based on his contract versus those other guys?
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at this
And you
point, the
can get
real
other
only
people. You can get a lot for Fox. I was saying to trade.
I would have to if I was them. I talk to the Thunder. They wouldn't mind having Gilgeous Alexander and Fox in the backcourt. Talk to them.
Yeah, and
But
they'll give up a bunch of those picks probably to make it happen. But they just drafted the kid Giddy too to
yeah,
run the
so
point over there. I think.
I think a lot of these teams got a lot of unbalanced rosters. I think that's where it's gonna come in. Looking at it, I will
I
tell
think.
you this.
I,
Go ahead,
Listen, the
Theo.
Warriors also got Otto Porter too. By the way, the Warriors too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Another guy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good thing
Another
for them.
guy.
Otto Porter will
Another
play
small
power
forward.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll. I think he might play in a small lineup where they move Draymond to center and put Porter at the four. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a good pickup.
Yes, I agree.
But you got a lot of guys out there that's going to get. I still think there's going to be a lot of trades and a lot of movements. A lot of these rosters are unbalanced. You look at you're looking at what's I like with the particularly bringing Kimbo, bringing
Thank you.
who's in the front, like twos, threes, guys that can play point. But other than Julius Randle can play bulk of the match. Other than Julius Randle, we got this guy back. I hope starting Taj back. Clifton's back. Noel's
I think we're
back.
getting a little. Are you seeing some breakup, Theo, with Ken?
Yes, yes. Tell him uh try again. You know, we could give him a few minutes.
Yeah, you got Gibson, you got Gibson, Noel, and back. He's back off of injury.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. So you got those three. You got Randall. So, is there anybody else that I'm missing in that front court?
Taj would be the third man out. He'd be the third option behind
Yeah,
Noel and Mitch. And be honest, Noel may start over Mitch. To be honest.
I got a feeling too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, Noel had a hell of a season backing up Mitch and then filling in as the starter. Plus, I think, like, not to say Mitch needs the ball, but I think Noel is more of he's more than happy to get his blocks and rebounds. And I think now they kind of sort of added more offense with Kemba, Fournier. So I don't know if they necessarily need another guy out there in the starting lineup who's trying to get the ball. Because Mitch is going to want the ball. He's got to be at like in a contract year now coming up.
Right.
So he's going to want to put up points. And I would say the best place for him to do that is on the second unit. Let him run the second unit with Obi Toppin, who's looking great in the summer league, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got some players. I mean, right now you can tell who the guard rotation is going to be. You got Kimba and Fournier, and you got Rose and
Quickly, probably.
Quickly.
Rose and Quigley. So that's the four there. I mean, Grimes and Bride. I don't think they're going to touch the court much. It would be nice to see him. I mean, who's behind R.J. Barrett?
I would say behind Barrett, assuming they put, let's say, Barrett or Fournier, whoever they put at the small forward. Burks is probably behind one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
He's probably a backup small forward.
Burks behind Barrett, whatever. And they got
Okay.
Randall. I don't know who's behind Randall.
I would
Guess.
say it should be Toppin.
Yeah, it should be Toppin.
Yeah, he's looking good in the summer league. That's one of the things I think that kind of threw Toppin off last year. Not just him, a lot of rookies. They had no summer league, hardly any training camp. And you wouldn't have expected it to affect Toppin, right? Because he was coming in with all these years of experience at the college level. But some guys, they just take longer to come around in the pros. So now Toppin looks like a completely different player so far. If you go by the summer league, he's hitting that pull-up three. He's hitting more threes in general. His post game and ball handling still needs some work, but he looks a lot more assertive, confident. And I think that's all he really needed, is confidence.
Right.
And now out there, he has guys looking for him. They're throwing him the lobs. That's what he does. Before, the issue with Toppin was like he's playing a position usually Toppin where he's a roll man. He's not somebody you throw the ball to in the post and let him go to work. You do pick and roll with him. And now you had Mitch running that pick and roll, right? You had Noel running pick and roll. So you're leaving Toppin out there doing what? He couldn't really do anything. The spacing was off.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing people mentioned before, and I thought it may have been a good idea, is why didn't Tibbs look to possibly go with like a combo of Toppin and Randall in the playoffs, right? Because they were struggling offensively. Defensively, Noel was, he played great, but he was a liability on the offensive end, and we needed offense against the Hawks.
I think you're right when you look at that, and I think Tibbs has got to be a little more willing to pull the plug on Barrett at times too.
Yeah.
And Randall, I would say Randall.
Yeah.
As much as he won in most improved player, right? So we know he improved, but there was times where it was like Randall, he's throwing this damn game out here. It's like Tibbs is just allowing him to do it.
Yeah, he rode those guys. He rode Randall and Barrett. We watched against Atlanta where you know what? That's one of the times you could really see like Derrick Rose is the guy who was driving that team. Like we know who had the playoff experience, and all that stuff because Derrick Rose was Derrick Rose, and they actually put like a concerted effort to stop Derrick Rose. They like forget Randall and them. They started trying to stop Derrick Rose. So
it looked like they pretty much against Randall. They went old school. It looked like and played boxing one on him.
Yeah, they just put him in a man-to-man all the time and don't let him catch the ball.
Yeah, they played a boxing one on him, and Randall during the season made a living off of long contested twos and stuff like that, and that's not going to work in the playoffs. But now, in theory, a bunch of those problems should be solved, assuming a big assumption, right, that Kemba Walker is healthy.
Right.
If he's healthy, you can't do that anymore. Fournier could also create shots for himself.
I'm wondering if Tibbs will let them pick up the tempo a little bit to get downhill because I think that'll help them out too. Instead of getting like a bunch of hard baskets where you're coming down and every time you're setting up and you're running through the full time of the shot clock, you working it way too much. Like pick up some easy baskets. That's why I think guys like Quigley come and stuff like. Because a lot of times when Quigley came in, I like seeing it because he wasn't using 20 seconds out of the shot clock. He came in if he seen he had something, he would just go. And they kind of need that. So you get a couple of some easy baskets here and there. But I will tell you this: I think the Knicks are really improved. I look at what they did, and I do think I would still say you got to put Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philly, and with Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philly. I would say you put the Hawks. I would still say that the Knicks. I like me personally. I like the Knicks more than Miami. I think to me, I think the Kyle Lowry signing is way overrated. I mean, it's good, you get a guy to get you 16 points that plays. He's not the same defender he was. He can knock down threes and stuff like that. But, I mean, if you look at it, you got a guy in there that you paying, what, $100 million to or something to get you 15, 16 points and play a little bit better defense. His defense is nowhere near as good as like Drew Holiday was. I don't know how much more. Other than playoff experience, how much more could he give you if you gave Kendrick Nunn that same opportunity?
I think Lowry can on that team, especially. I think he could get you 20 because Jimmy Butler's out there. Seems like trying to be the ultimate role player, and they just gave him a hell of a contract, right? But I think Jimmy Butler, a lot of times, I want to see him be more aggressive offensively. So he's looking to take a back seat for whatever reason offensively. I think playoff time, Bam Adebayo, that whole small ball thing they were doing with him got exposed a little bit. And he's not a huge scorer, Bam Adebayo. He still needs people to create for him. So I think there's room for Lowry to get his 20 points or so. We know he's going to play decent defense. He's going to be out there flopping, taking charges, if they still call that, right? Because a lot of supposedly rule changes are happening this year too. If they're still calling those flops and stuff, he'll be okay defensively. But yeah, Miami to me, they're one of those teams. They brought in Duncan Robinson. They brought him back, I should say, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see how they improved.
I can give you two teams. One team definitely improved. The Bulls are definitely a better team than we were last year. That's undoubted.
Yeah, they should be playoff bound, I would say, the Bulls this year.
And I think quietly, a lot of people don't realize how much better the Charlotte Hornets got. Charlotte Hornets, remember, they lost the game. Everybody's like, oh, they lost in the playoffs. They look bad. That's without Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward didn't play at all. And before Gordon Hayward got hurt, they was in the thick of the playoffs before he got hurt.
Yeah, they ended up losing in that play-in tournament thing or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, if Gordon Hayward was there, I think that outcome would have been different. Plus, they went out and drafted Book Knight, Kai Jones, brought in different people. They actually have better people on the roster now, and got rid of some dead wood.
I think they'll be exciting, for sure.
Do you think
in summer league so far, Book Knight has been a little up and down, but that's to be expected from these guys, right?
Right.
But I think he'll be fine.
You think Charlotte's better than Washington?
Yep.
Yeah, Washington.
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you why. Washington. The difference between Charlotte and Washington is the respect that players have for each other. Young dudes get together and they want to run with young dudes and they want to play with them. Old dudes get together and say that they're better than the other dude that's there. So Kuzma's going to be out there trying to prove something. Montrezl Harrell's going to be out there trying to prove something. Everybody's going to be trying to prove something. Hachimura's still trying to. They got a bunch of guys that playing for contracts trying to prove something because they didn't look good before. Kuzma's contract is the worst signed deal in a long time. Whereas these guys just want to run up and down with LaMelo Ball. They want to catch oops. They want to run around. They want to play. So it's harder to get veterans to, first of all, to respect the coach and to respect each other than it is to get a young dude in the park to realize, this dude standing right next to me is for real. So I'm going to run up and down with him. I don't think anybody's going to question LaMelo, Rozier or Gordon Hayward or any of those guys about where they stand on the team. Whereas besides Bill, everybody else on that team probably thinks they're the number 2 guy.
Plus, another thing with Washington is the Bill situation still like a dark cloud over him. Because even though he quote unquote still committed, he didn't ask to be traded. There's still no telling what he's gonna do. I don't think he's completely happy. Let's put it that way. I know he supposedly had a lot to do with bringing Dinwiddie in, right? They were cool or whatever the case may be, but I don't think that's enough to necessarily keep him around if it starts falling apart.
I will say this, though. I do think the players will respect Dinwiddie, too. I think they'll respect Bill and Dinwiddie. The rest of those guys, I think they got stuff to prove and stuff. And some of the guys that probably should play, it depends. To me, you know what, Theo? To answer that, it depends on the coach. If the coach comes out and establishes people's roles and they play the roles they're supposed to, they should be good. But the minute one of those guys steps out of line, like right now, you got Dinwiddie and Bill. Who's the third scorer? Is it Hachimura? Is it Kuzma? Are you throwing the ball into Montrezl Harrell? Is it Thomas Bryant? Is it the tall dude that can shoot from the Spurs? That I don't know why he doesn't get to play. He's not getting played.
Who, Bertans?
Yeah, he doesn't get played nearly as much as he should.
He got a huge contract, too.
Yeah. So the coach has to come and establish the roles. And if he gets those guys to buy in, it'll be a really good year for them. But on the flip side, if he doesn't get those guys to buy in, that Bill thing is going to be easily done. They're going to be moving on. So
right.
I will say
Right.
this is probably the best version of the Wizards we've seen in a while. I like this version of them because they're a more balanced team than like the Bradley Bill Westbrook combo. For a
Yeah.
while, I thought the Wall and Bill combo was good, but once Wall, got hurt a couple of times, that kind of went down. So I think this is the best version of the Wizards we've seen in a while.
You know what's
But yeah, that's a
interesting?
good point there. I like that team, the
Yeah.
Wizards.
Hmm.
What happened to Indiana? Like,
I don't know what they're doing over there.
yeah,
They drafted Duarte, who I think is solid, um, but I don't know. I don't know what they're. Who are
yeah.
they building around? Are they building around the big man? I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
then
who their cornerstone is.
some guy, because the new coach said that he didn't want to get rid of Turner, he wanted to keep Turner. I
Yeah, the
don't know.
coach messed it up, man. The coach, whatever he done, I guess it kind of rubbed the players the wrong way. But
Yeah,
but they got Miles Turner, they got Brogdon. Is Levert over there?
yeah.
They got
He's
the
back.
other
Levert,
big who,
and then
TJ
you got
Warren is back.
Sabonis,
yeah,
and you got
Sabonis.
Sabonis too. Those
Yeah,
four good players. Them guys should not be struggling to win games or make the playoffs the way on paper anyway. For my eyes
TJ Warren's
personally,
back
so
too. TJ Warren's back.
TG Warren when he's healthy, he can
Malcolm
put buckets
Brogdon.
up.
Yeah,
Right, exactly. So they got good players who
Yeah,
should, I guess, should make the playoffs at least.
yeah. It's
yeah.
it's funny. It's funny. I think a lot of these teams with these new coaches, we're gonna find out a lot about them early on
Hmm.
because I think it's gonna come down to how to get these players to play together. Now,
Right.
I do think this is. I don't think it's. I think the way I'm looking at the way these coaching seems like it's gonna be. Unfortunately, we'll say it's not gonna be none of those more long term things where they're not gonna let a coach get 4 years without winning no more. If you out there 1 or 2 years and it don't look like it's doing too well, you're gonna be out. They're just gonna let you sit there. Like coaches not getting those 6 year, 7 year deals, whatever. They're giving out 3 to 5 year deals tops or something. And those last years are like voidable and options and all types of stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that
Agree.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And it makes sense too. So, the one of the great things about the Knicks that was Tibbs actually establishes people's roles. So you don't go out there and do whatever you want to do. And there's no confusion. This is what I expect you to do. And if you don't do that, I'm gonna sit down. And that helps out a lot. I mean, some coaches don't have like the cachet or pedigree that Tibbs has to be able to do that. But you get out there, you got a coach that can't do that. He's just basically letting you dudes decide on their own. You might as well be playing AAU basketball.
Hmm.
Another good thing about the Knicks, with the exception of Randall, I think all of those contracts that they signed the last year of them are all team options. Hurts, Noel, Rose, all of those contracts, the third year, final year is a team option. So they're setting themselves up to have cap space again if needed.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I like seeing Tibbs too out there, out there scouting some of the team too as well, man. It's good, so you get to feel how these guys play personally instead of on film. So he can only scout for his own team, man. So I like seeing that too from Tibbs.
Yeah,
Another thing I know Kenyatta was saying earlier, don't be surprised if you do see McBride getting some minutes because that guy is a defensive beast out there.
yeah,
I
He causes
I
havoc
agree.
on defense.
I
Grimes
mean,
is good too. Grimes been a bit up and down, but if you see the last summer league game when Quickly was out, you had Grimes drop 28. I think McBride had 22 or
yeah,
23. And McBride, he's mostly known for his defense, and we know Tibbs loves defense. Kemba's not really a defensive, guard who's going to score. Same thing with Rose. Rose is going to score. But when they need defense, I wouldn't be surprised to see McBride out there on a Trey Young or whatever the case may be.
yeah. The tough part about that
McBride
is,
can shoot too, man. He can
yeah,
Yeah,
score.
he's
McBride can
tough.
shoot.
He's tough.
I think the McBride pick may actually hurt quickly. I think
Mm.
he might be the odd man out there because he's got to think about it. You got Rose and Kimba to score. Quickly can't score like those guys. If you want to get a guy out there to defend, like you said, McBride might be the best all ball defender they have.
If I'm
Guard.
not And Grimes is good defensively too.
Yeah,
If I'm those guys, the Knicks, then all I'm doing is letting those guys quickly Grimes, McBride. I'm just letting them learn from Rose and quickly from Rose and Kemba. There's
yeah,
no need to, let's say, oh, I got to trade them or I got to just sit there and let them learn. They're all young.
yeah. And it's not like they're gonna be expected to do a lot early on anyway. It's not like they're gonna
Yeah,
expect them to get out there and carry the team. I mean,
yeah,
this
exactly.
this year right here, I mean, other than in certain situations, they probably not gonna play much at all.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good. Let them sit there, learn. Like you said, situational. They'll get in. McBride when you need some defense, whatever the case may be, or somebody goes down with injury, right? Because durability is a factor with Rose and
Yeah,
Kemba. So now, unfortunately, one of them gets hurt, then that bumps everybody else up a slot. So now
yeah,
one of them gets hurt. Kemba goes down. Rose may slide into the starting role. Now, quickly is the backup with
McBride.
McBride, whatever, right? Sliding up a spot. So that's a thing to look out for. But having those guys sit there and learn, I think, is a good thing from Kemba
Plus,
and Rose.
plus too, Fournier is not no dominant defender either. So I can see
That's
Grimes
true
and
too.
them getting
Yeah.
minutes from him too. So
Yep, that's true too.
there's minutes to be high, especially when they need defensive stops and stuff. And realistically, I mean, Burks will probably be backing up Barrett. So realistically, unless they're gonna play Rose and Quigley together or something, there might
Which
be
is
might be a need for minutes at the two.
which is what they did. They did a lot of that last year. Rose and Quickly was was their main backcourt off the bench.
Yeah, but to Tibbs' credit, I mean, he's got a little better with the rookies. He's gonna play whoever he sees doing well. So I hope these guys know in practice and everything else. If I was if I was Grimes or McBride, I'd be playing Barrett and all these guys just as hard as I'm playing these guys in the summer league because Tibbs has no problem with putting them in over you.
Yeah. Plus, both of those guys, especially McBride, supposedly was a Tibbs pick.
Oh
He
yeah,
drafted
that's you.
McBride because Tibbs liked them personally,
Oh, so
supposedly.
yeah,
And I think they said Grimes might have been like the main guy behind the Grimes draft. I think they said it was Worldwide West.
yeah. So they got good people that want them, and that's the tough part when you if a coach particularly wants a player and he's gonna give him every
Yeah, he's
opportunity.
going to give them opportunities.
Yeah, it's not like he's just gonna be out there and don't. He goes out there and locks these guys up, then they're not gonna play.
So, who in the summer league to you so far has stood out?
Um, well, I obviously Cade is playing well. Jalen Green, Kaminga. I mean, I will say there's a lot of the top picks this year are playing well. I mean, some of them are like doing like extra shooting, but I will say this that I think the summer league is helping them, and I think I don't know whether the coaches are telling them or they just all naturally aggressive because they're just continuing on like as if it was college or how
What,
or whatever. Like they
what about
none of those
Barnes
guys
from the
kind of
Raptors?
what happened.
What about Barnes from the Raptors? What do you think of him so far? I think he looks okay.
I think he looks okay. I think the one problem with him is that his style of play is going to be tough in the NBA because you can play bully ball in college. You can't play bully ball with grown men or something.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out. you know,
Yeah,
at least not yet. I don't think he's
yeah,
strong
not
enough to do
yet.
all.
Because I watched. I think it was the Raptors against Golden State, and he wasn't able to play bully ball with Kaminga
And Kaminga's, yeah, he's another guy who mostly likes to play
to
bully
play
ball, but
bully
I think
ball.
he has the body a little more um,
Yeah,
than Barnes to do it. Barnes is taller, but I think Kaminga might be stronger.
yeah,
The only thing with Kaminga is I think which I'm sure he's well aware of, and coming into the draft, everybody knew. I think he has to work on that jump shot a little more,
yeah,
and I think his ball handling. Right now, he's almost like a pure slasher, I would say. I think Suggs looked pretty good too, up
oh
until
yeah,
he got hurt, right? I think they end up shutting him down. Same thing, Green, they end up shutting him down too. Was Green shut down? I know Suggs was officially shut down. I don't know if Green was. I know he missed most of the last game with that tight groin or something like that, or hamstring. But I don't know if they officially shut him down. But I think it's only like one game left anyway, right?
Yeah, I will say some of these guys I like. I like Book Knight. I like Kai Jones.
You know, Book Night, was it Davion Mitchell gave Book Night fits?
Yeah,
You watch that game.
yeah, yeah,
And what he said at the end of the game when they asked him about his defense on Book Night, he said he just tried to just don't give him any space. Because if you give Book
yeah,
Night space, he's going, he's shifty, he's crafty.
yeah,
You crowd him up, which I don't know if he's going to be able to get away with that in the actual games because he's going to be getting foul calls on him left and right trying to do that. But all he
yeah,
did was crowd Book Night and
yeah.
try to be physical with him.
He's physical. Don't give him any space. He didn't give him room to move. Yeah, he gave him fits. I mean, well, I would say you this. I think Davion Mitchell, he's probably one of the better defenders I've seen too.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better defenders. I mean, some of these other guys, I think that people knew and they really didn't give credit to. Like, I think Josh Christopher is a lot better than what people thought.
Yeah.
And I like Zaire Williams from Memphis too.
I think they're saying
they kind of flew under
Christopher
the
may be
radar.
making Wall expendable. I don't think they necessarily wanted John Wall anyway, given the contract and his timeline with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But I think they're saying Christopher, the way he's playing, may accelerate Wall's exit. Because he's kind of playing that point guard role in the summer league.
He's big too. He's not like he's not a small guard. He's a guard, but I think he's somewhere between 6'4" and 6'6" and over 200 pounds. So he's not a little guy. So I don't think it'll be that hard for him to be like a guard in the NBA because he's probably just as big, if not bigger, than most guards in the league right now.
So yeah, now you have Christopher, you got Porter Jr., right? You got Green, obviously, and then you got the big Christian Woods. That's not a bad four, to build around young.
They got another dude. They got another young dude, some foreign dude that was killing.
He was. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he was a high pick, right? He was first round with that guy.
Yeah, he was killing out there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and you figure they still got Kenyon Martin Jr. who looked pretty good out there.
Yeah.
They got the other kid. I'm surprised he's not out there. Jayshawn Tate. I'm surprised he didn't play.
Yeah, I like him, Tate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a physical guy, strong.
So, I don't know how much it's going to translate to wins, but they should play hard defense and they should be able to run up and down, score some points. They should be better than last year. I mean, I don't think it's that hard.
I wonder what they do though. What do you do with John Wall? Like, if you can't trade him, let's say, because that contract is going to be hard to trade. You're going to have to give OKC 4 picks to take John Wall. They'll take him, but you're going to have to give up a ton of picks.
The problem with John Wall is John Wall's situation is different than Kemba because Kemba could find teams to offset his money. Because I was looking at what happened. Kemba took a buyout where he took $20 million off, and then he went to the Knicks and got 18 of that back, basically.
Right.
So he didn't really lose any money. Whereas John Wall, he's gonna have to get all his money because nobody's gonna give him remotely close to that. If John Wall gets bought out, he'll be on the Lakers or Nets because he's gonna be on a league minimum deal.
And the guy has the talent; he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
John Wall has all the talent in the world.
You got to figure where could he go? Because they bought him out. Only team that's gonna want him is a team that think they could use him to win the championship.
Right. And what team is that? Maybe Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, the Mavericks. They might give him a shot for cheap.
Yeah.
They may give him a shot for cheap.
I want to add a team that's similar to the Rockets as far as that young talent they could build around, and that's the Detroit Pistons, man.
Yeah.
I like Cade. I like the big white kid from Iowa. I forget his name right. Garza. Last year that Sadiq Bey, and another kid had two from the draft last year. That name Horns, Hayes. He's a guard. And also and also to my boy playing well, my boy from Georgetown, Jamarco Pickett, playing real good right now in summer league.
Yeah,
so he's making the best of his opportunity right now. So I think Detroit is similar to as far as Rockets. They got pieces in place, just build around, drive smart, man. Those guys in the fire, man. Don't worry about it.
And the good thing too is Grant's not that old either. Grant's like 25, so he's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not far removed. So it's one of those things where they could all grow together. The expectations are not
Right,
right there right now, so that's good.
right, right.
yeah,
And
good team.
I'm sorry. I want to add one more. We got to talk about the summer league plays. I want to add about. We got to think about LeAngelo Ball, man. I think he looks
Uh,
fantastic.
I I
He looks
gotta
in
say, I
shape.
think he deserves a roster spot. I mean,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
exactly my point. He
Yeah,
looks in shape. You can tell, see his body fat is very trimmed down. He's toned up.
all
He can
well,
move around
yeah. I
and he can shoot.
to tell you the truth, I mean, I really think that if he doesn't make it there, somebody will give him a shot now.
yeah, he's played well. He's made the most of his opportunity. And the
Mm-hmm.
crazy thing is he started out with a bang, and from there it seemed like the coach is like hell bent on like lowering his
Blowing him
minutes or
out.
something. And
Yeah.
he's still
Mm-hmm.
producing, but for some reason
See,
he's
Mm-hmm.
not getting as many minutes.
Yeah,
it's
I
funny.
understand that.
I was talking to my son today about that. The only time that makes sense to me is this case. So if the Knicks today decided that they're not playing Grimes and McBride anymore, I would understand. You know why? They're guaranteed to be on the team. Those roster spots are filled. So those the guys they should be watching is the guys that they need to fill in additional roster spots to see what they could do. Like Obi doesn't need to play, Quigley doesn't need to play. They're gonna be on the team. Same thing when you look at it like
Yeah, I'd be pissed if I'm Jericho Sims, right? And this
yeah,
guy is playing me 8 minutes and I'm
yeah,
out there, I'm
exactly.
producing, and this guy
Yeah,
is limiting my minutes as I'm trying to make the team.
exactly. Angelo's not on the team. Some of those guys like Ty Jones don't have to worry about it. He got a guaranteed deal. Him, Vernon Carey, Book Knight, all those
Mm-hmm.
dudes, they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna come out here and do what I do. If they don't like me, guess what? I'm still getting 4 years for whatever amount of money. So for a guy like LiAngelo, it's kind of funny that they jerking him around on the minutes, but they got to be real leery of that because
And he's playing well.
I think the craziest thing that's happening now is that teams got to be real leery when they do stuff like that because that'll fact that well, even though LaMelo seems like he's his own guy as opposed to his brothers, that'll factor in. Like, look what the Bucks just did. The Bucks just gave a permanent roster spot to Giannis for like $4 million. Don't get me wrong, it's not the money, but could they had not got a better kid from the summer league to fill that roster spot? That spot was just purely to make his brother happy.
Yeah.
Well, you can't make Greek happy some kind of way.
Yeah,
You better sign his brother, or nephew, or uncle.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So
Yep.
they should be thinking like, listen, if we put LiAngelo on the team, maybe this will help us out in the long run to keep it his brother.
Yeah, I might have brought in Giannis's other brother, so he re-upped
Mm-hmm.
2 more
Yeah,
years.
bring him in too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
think about
Yep.
it. The 14th and 15th man, they ain't gonna play anyway. They're gonna sit behind the bench in street clothes.
But
Yeah,
Ball's playing good though. He deserves a roster spot on our
it does.
Hornet team, man.
It does. When you look at
Yeah.
the Hornets, like if you look at the roster, I mean, we could name some of the people, but can we name? I can't name 15 guys on the team, which means those other guys ain't really worth much. Like I know they
Mm-hmm.
got one of those the Martin kid from Nevada, but
Yeah, they got rid of one of them, right?
they got rid of one of
Yeah,
them
one
already.
got cut.
Yeah, so you figure, between LaMelo and Rozier, I can't even name another guard on the roster besides Book Knight, so that's three. You got Gordon Hayward and Miles Bridges. You got Kai Jones, and what's the that other kid's
Plumlee,
probably
right?
gonna make what?
Plumlee's over there, right?
Plumlee's there. Um, you got the other kid they drafted, JT Thor.
Yeah.
And think about it. And Vernon Carey from Duke. We only named
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they
9
got
players.
you mentioned Rozier.
Yeah, we only
Mm-hmm.
named 9 players, and they got a 15-man roster. We don't even know who the other 6 guys are. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's going potential.
yep,
he deserves a spot, I would say.
I would give him a shot.
The one thing you bring up a good point, Kenyatta, about like I was watching some of the recent moves in the league, and I think it's unfortunate the way the league goes about it. Like these different teams. I'll give an example. Cassius Stanley, right, was recently released, and I think for a guy like him, it's terrible to release somebody. Like you're releasing these guys. First, you hold them as restricted free agents, right?
Wait till all the money's
Yeah,
dried
you
up.
wait till all the money and all the roster spots just about to dry it up, and then you release them. I think the league needs to look at that and do something about it if they can. I think
Yeah.
they need to, like these teams, like the players don't have that ability, right?
No.
So the teams, that's terrible. So now Stanley's out here without a job, and most of the spots are filled.
And the craziest
And
thing,
it's not just him; it's a bunch of other guys who, they were restricted free agents, and now the team decides, you know what, I'm going to renounce your rights. Now you're unrestricted, but there's hardly any spots.
what's even crazier is that you do it on like the day before summer league ends, because some of these dudes would have scrambled and got on another roster. But if you release
Exactly. Now they can't even showcase
somebody on
themselves.
Friday, you can't even get on another roster. They release you on
I'm
Friday.
sure if they would have did it early, Stanley would have probably got a spot or would have been on a summer league roster so that he could at least showcase himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now you do it, he can't showcase himself. Most of the spots around the league are filled up. That's like setting a guy up for failure, I think.
Oh, we forgot you and Last. We forgot two key players on Charlotte we should have remembered: P.J. Washington and Kelly Oubre Jr. Now, so they definitely got better.
The only thing, they did. The only thing is a lot of those guys play the same exact position.
Yeah, that's
small forward.
That's what's crazy about the league. It's almost like playing fantasy sports with everybody's stock to block people for other. Well, you know what? I'm gonna sign Kelly Oubre so you don't get him.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, like with a guy like him hitting free agency, I thought he was going to be a bigger target for some teams. And what did he end up getting? Like a 2-year deal for it was relatively cheap, 16 million, 20 million, something like that.
He took. You know what he did? I mean, I give him credit for it, but it's not that good in like circles. He basically did what the Morris brother did to the Spurs with the Knicks. He basically told people that he gonna take wherever he get the highest amount of money is where he's going.
And the crazy thing
a
is,
lot of offers, but he didn't care about winning. He wanted the most dollars.
And I would have thought he would have even commanded more money than that too. I think Oubre is a pretty good player.
He's
still young.
But here's the thing, though. He's not the greatest. I like him. He's not the greatest shooter. And when you look at it, you look at these kids that got drafted now. You can find athletes. Like there's a lot of dudes in the summer league that could jump. Like they got a dude on the Cavaliers, LJ Stevens or something.
Oh yeah, I like him.
He plays hard. He can play. He can play.
Yeah, he's tough.
He could get minutes in somebody's roster, but he's on Cleveland. So when you look at these dudes, you got dudes that's running and jumping all over the place. I seen some dude in one of these summer league games jump from down near the foul line or something, dunking on somebody. Who would have thought that Gary Payton II could jump that high to do that?
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
So if you look at Kelly Oubre Jr., besides being an athlete, right? Can he do much else? Like he's not a lockdown defender.
I think he's a decent defender.
He's a decent defender. He got NBA experience. So for him to be able to get the money now is crazy. You check it out. Alec Burks is better than Kelly Oubre Jr. in this NBA. Because Alec Burks has a tangible skill that the league uses. As long as he can shoot that basketball, he's going to make money.
Hey, he's a better shooter and playmaker, I would say. Oubre is probably a better athlete and defender.
Well, you got to think of it this way. Stars don't need athletes next to them. They need shooters. LeBron James don't need a dude trying to jump higher than he is. He needs somebody to go stand in the corner.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to argue that.
Think about it. The Lakers couldn't even consider a guy like Oubre. He couldn't do anything for him. There was nothing that he could put him on the roster to do.
The skills overlap with the other stars for the most part.
So he couldn't even go on a winning team. The Nets couldn't use him. He don't play defense. He don't shoot. So it's one of those things where, hell, even the Bucks couldn't use him. Like it's sad to say he's got to be on an upcoming team or a losing team.
Crazy thing is,
because they ain't got nothing.
They
So,
said Damian Lillard tried to recruit him, and he turned it down. He didn't want to go to Portland.
want the money. They didn't have enough money. They tried to offer like the small mid level exception or something. But I
Are there
think
any
so.
losers?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a part of it too.
Do
yeah.
you guys? Are there any losers in free agency
Is um
signing period, so to speak?
let's see. I mean, there's some teams that didn't do anything. Like, what did Dallas do? They didn't even have
Right.
draft picks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even
they
know who
lost.
that. They brought Tim Hardaway back. I guess they had to do that.
Yeah, they didn't have
In
no
terms of
draft.
new movement. Yeah, I can't think of
They got
their
Bullock. That's
picks and
about it.
picks.
Yeah, they got Bullock and they picked up the tall dude that likes to paint now as option. Dude from
Yeah, I've got his name too. I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Okay, his name escapes you right now, but I know
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
They picked up his
They really
option.
didn't do much.
No, yeah, Dallas didn't do anything.
How about
Um,
Damian Lillard's team?
yeah, I
Like,
was gonna say Portland. What did they do?
you
I
got
give
the
Portland
Portland.
credit though. I had to laugh at
Yeah,
their summer league team. They couldn't even get young players. They had like more old dudes on the
Yeah,
roster.
Beasley, right?
They
yeah. You
Who
got
else?
Beasley. You got Fareed. He's
They're
back in the
gonna
league.
make
Those two guys back in the league, and you
they're
got
gonna make the
Norman
team.
Powell.
Those
That ain't
those guys
enough.
those guys are gonna make the team. Think about it. Who do they
Of
have over there in
course.
Portland? Yeah, they'll make the team.
Yeah, they are. I believe that. I really
Yeah,
do.
there's nobody else on the roster.
Yeah, I think
Maybe,
Zach
maybe
Collins,
Michael
who was
Winston.
always injured, he's finally out of there, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's out of there. They found somebody
I
else to
like
replace him though, but there's
I
not
like the
much.
Spurs picking up Collins though, because they got him for cheap. They got Zach Collins for 2 years for 12 million, and only 1 year is guaranteed.
Mm,
They took
that's
a fly on him. He's
Yeah,
somewhat
right,
healthy because he was talented. He just can't stay on the court.
they
right.
wouldn't they wouldn't take marketing because marketing's agent said he wanted some craziness like 20 plus million for 5 years. He wanted to see like nah, we're
No,
not gonna
he's
give you
still
that.
he has to prove his worth. I
Yeah,
think Chicago is kind of jerking him around a bit in terms of his minutes and stuff like that. But I don't think marketing is there yet to command that type of money.
agree.
I think you know what I think it is too, and with marketing, like when they for one thing, they hurt him when they went to like a tougher team. Like Vucevic and them are actually fairly tough dudes. Like they rebound, they get rugged, they bang. Marketing's not trying to do none of that stuff. And
He's
all of these
finesse.
yeah, he's a finesse player, and I don't. The new coach, yeah, that new coach, that's the coach that grabbed Zach LaVine. It's like, yeah, you ain't
Plus,
playing, you're not
last
playing.
year, was it Patrick Williams they drafted
Yeah,
last year?
Yeah, very,
He kind
listen.
of took that spot right from marketing, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah.
So
You
now
know
you got
what? You said that. I saw an article or quote from LeBron. LeBron gave big ups to him, saying that he minded him a Kawhi defensively, man.
Doing
yeah.
his
So I
LeBron
job.
think
said,
he kind
Yeah,
of grabbed marketing spot at that power
yeah,
forward. You got
"Yeah, man.
Vucevic, you got DeRozan, Levine, and Ball, right? So
Yeah, you got
marketing is
Caruso. He over there too, Caruso.
and you
Russo.
That
got
point
Yeah,
guard for North
Kobe
Carolina.
White as Ball's backup.
Yeah, there you
Kobe
go. There
White
you
has been
go.
he's been playing good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so they
So
got
it'll be a
players.
problem.
Yeah, they got tough players, but teams like you said, Dallas, Portland. But I mean, some of the, even
Clippers.
the Clippers. Yeah, what did Boston do?
They got Dennis Schroeder. He took the biggest L out of
They
everybody.
Yeah.
nobody else was going to take them.
You
you
know who
know,
else took one of those L's too? This guy, right? His was comparable. Oladipo, right? Because didn't he have a
Yeah,
chance at one point to like re up with?
the
But
Houston.
Houston wanted him at first to re up, right? And then once he got
Houston.
traded to Miami,
He's
right?
never
Right.
going
He
to
tried
get
to
that
get him
money.
to sign long, and then he gets hurt again, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to get that money because I would tell you what I would do if I was a GM with him. They signed him to some veteran minimum. The next year he comes back, I'm gonna say my deal's gonna be like, listen, I can't give you no more than the mid-level exception because we still don't know how you're gonna be with the injury. Yeah, the next year you're gonna have to be great. Because if you're not great,
Mm.
I'm probably not gonna even sign you back. Because
Yeah.
listen, we gave you the veteran year, now we gave you the get better year. this next year you better be great, or you ain't gonna be on this roster. Then
Right.
you're gonna be floating out there. Your next deal is gonna be mid-level exception to veteran minimum. Like the
Yeah.
Yep.
GMs, I gotta give them credit. They're getting smarter. So what they're doing is they top loading the guys that play. Listen, the first 6 guys, maybe I give out 5 max contracts, and 2 guys, 6, 7 guys, they getting money. The rest of you dudes, you get nothing.
Right.
That's why I gotta give this dude credit. It was a big loss for the Nets to lose Jeff Green, but he had to get paid.
You pay something, man. He paid good for those guys, man.
They was offering him like some, what's that, the mid-level exception for $3 million. I think the Jazz gave him like $8 million or something like that.
Yeah, he got 8-9 in with Denver. The Jeff Green with Denver for $9 million.
Yeah, $9 million. So you got to take that. You got to take that.
Yeah, of course.
He asked KD about it, and KD was like, "I'm glad he got his money. He had to do it."
Because KD is his boy, right?
Yeah.
Yep. OKC days. How you guys feel about the Pelicans, man?
I mean,
They're another one of those teams where I'm like, what did they do? I know
I'm confused.
Ball is out, right?
I don't think they set the new coach up in a good way.
Zion out of there in 2 years.
Yeah, like right now, I mean, Devontae Graham, they must got him there because they figured he could split time with the Kara Lewis kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this dude they drafted, Trey Murphy. I watched this. Did he look that great to you in the summer league? He looked all right.
Yeah, he has some games where I was impressed with him, but a bunch of these guys have games where you're impressed with him, you know. But yeah, he looked okay, I would say.
I mean, realistically, you know what they're gonna have to do to get Zion to come? They're gonna have to do one or two things. He's either gonna have to get RJ Barrett or get Cam Reddish or both of them, or he's gonna be playing for the Knicks. I kid you not. Yeah,
I think Theo is right. He's gonna be out of there in 2 years unless they get.
I hate to say it to him. As much as him and his family loves it there, Julius Randle's bags will be packed because if they could trade Julius Randle to get Zion, he'd be packing today.
That's facts.
That's
facts.
Randle should already be used to it, right? He was already over there. Remember, he was already over there.
Or Randle gonna play center.
Yeah.
Do a Draymond play center.
Right, Randle was already on New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So he should already be used to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
You think Randle's gonna be able to adjust to what's going on this year? Because you got to remember, Kemba shoots, Fournier shoots, Barrett wants to shoot, and we know Randle. He don't know his hand is always working. So
to me,
how's he gonna handle it with all these other guys wanting to score now? Because he ain't gonna be the primary option every time down the court no more.
Which is, like you say, he's gonna have to adjust to it because Obi Toppin is waiting based on the summer league performance. And Obi Toppin's style of play fits better with those other guys than Randle's does, I think. Because Randle's another ball handler, like you just said. Now you added Kemba, who's ball dominant. Fournier is not really ball dominant, but he likes that ball in his hands to create, and he can shoot. You know, he could catch and shoot. But Randle, we don't need him pounding the ball in that point forward type of role anymore.
No.
So yeah, he's still. I would still have him as my number one option.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to adjust his game a little bit.
Yeah, it should be easier for him.
I think. Well, Randle has gotten better every year since he came in the league.
Yeah, he puts in work. That's one thing I give him. Randle puts in work.
He puts in work. He's gotten better every year in the league. He has adjusted to the team's situation, how the team is set up. Remember, a few years when he first joined the Knicks, he was going crazy, like kind of a nut, until his son. Remember that's about his son. Talked to his son playing ball. His son said something to the effect of like, "Yo, you're a nut, or you shoot too much." And what did he do? So the next season, which was last year, he changed his game to better on the team, or even better on the coaching too as well. So on. And I think he's one of those guys. Like, I guess he could humble himself and learn from the Atlanta Hawks series and how to help the team without scoring, how to affect the game without scoring. Because he did man double team. The K got real good. So I'm giving benefit of the doubt, said that he'll continue to adjust his game, improve his game, and work on being a better player and a better teammate, and do what's best for the team.
Yeah,
I
I
will say
agree.
this. I think the Knicks did a good job again with another thing because I think the Knicks signing him and giving him the money before they bought these other guys in was a good idea. Because
Yes,
if
the
you made him
extension.
wait, if
Yeah,
you made him wait and not give him the money, he'd press.
yeah.
Because now you thinking you got these new guys in, I'm probably not gonna get the money. But by
Mm-hmm.
paying them in advance, that was a good deal. That was smart to do.
Plus, yeah, it was good on both. It was good on both fronts. Like I'm, as a Knicks fan, I'm kind of tired of waiting to see who else is coming next. So to see the team finally commit to somebody, Randall, they gave him a 4-year deal, right? A 4-year extension. So now, on paper, at least, he's locked in for the next 5 years, which is
And
good to
what?
see. I think we're always waiting for the next big thing. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
during those 5 years, if Zion came knocking, then you gotta do what you have to do from there. Somebody like
Right.
that, superstar
Right.
player, then yeah, sure. But other than that, yeah, committing to a guy like Randall isn't a bad thing. And I think star players want to see that too. I think that was hurting the Knicks in the past too, is that they were always they were in rebuild mode every other year. So finally, it seems like this front office is doing things so far the right way.
I want to add too before I go back to Kenyatta. I want to give props to Julius as well for taking a nice deal because he could have got
Yeah,
more money.
exactly. Yep.
He
Team
Yeah,
got more
friendly
money,
deal.
friendly deal.
and he gave us a nice deal. Whereas that it helps him out down the line this year and down the line to get better, get players coming here and help us win a championship. So thank you for that too, Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Yep.
he
Agreed.
definitely did. I mean, that was real nice. He gave him a real team friendly deal.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So I mean, I like the way the whole Knicks situation is going. The front office is doing the right things. We're saying the players, they're bringing in players. They're bringing a certain type of player, guys that are hungry, they want it, guys that's moving,
Yes.
running. The whole
Yes.
culture of the team has changed. So they're definitely somebody that you want to watch and you want to see or something. And they got a good
Yes.
mix of players or something. And
Well said.
I will say this, a lot of people used to give them hell and stuff. Listen, I do think a lot of this stuff did start with Tibbs too, because I think I don't know how many coaches besides like a Tibbs or Popovich or somebody at that level that could get Julius Randle to perform the way he's performing. Like you
Yeah,
have to
Mm.
I
have like
agree.
a high level coach to get him there to be able to do it. Don't get me wrong, he works on his own, but
Mm-hmm.
to give him the confidence to put the ball in his hands and to allow him to do it is another thing. Because some of these other coaches that are not secure in themselves will pull the plug right away. If he had a couple of bad games, strategy would change. So
Yeah.
you
Well
gotta
said.
be a confident enough coach to say, listen, this is my system, this is what I'm doing, and this is what we're gonna rock with. Win or lose, this is the way we're going. It probably put a little more pressure on Randall, but you know what? He stepped up and he performed. And you know what? I mean, I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did. He's one of the original Kobe Bryant disciples, people that Kobe Bryant actually sat down and talked to, one of the last people that worked with him and stuff like that. So I thought that was good.
And one thing, like regarding the Knicks culture, is I watch a bunch of the things online. These guys are always putting in work. I've seen already a ton of footage of RJ Barrett. Like a lot of people, right? RJ Barrett came in, he couldn't shoot, right? So he worked on the three ball and his free throws. He was up to 70 something percent on free throws, almost 40%. Granted, he didn't take a ton of them, but almost up to 40% on threes. This year, the thing was his ball handling, right? I've seen a lot of videos already of RJ working on that ball handling to become more shifty, more crafty. Because RJ's style, he's more upright and he's like a line drive type of dude. Not really crafty with the ball. But I've seen videos already. Same thing quickly, right? Toppin's been putting in a bunch of work, both quickly and Toppin. People forget already those guys were on the select team for the US, right?
Yep.
And that helped them a lot. So these guys are putting in work. So that's one thing. I've seen a ton of footage already of Julius Randle putting in work again. So it's not like Randle got that award and became complacent. The guy is working. So that's a culture change. I would say is guys are putting in work.
No, I think so. I think you look at it too. I think all the guys are. What's him? That's part of the way they got things going forward. So when you show up there, you need to be prepared. You can't be what's him. You can't.
And I think that's what's good now is they're drafting guys who have that same mindset, like Grimes, McBride. Those are tough dudes. So they're coming in with that mindset already. Because I think now a guy who didn't have that mindset and he's obviously doesn't fit Tibbs' system is Kevin Knox, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to shy away from drafting those type of guys now or bringing those type of guys into the system.
See, you know what? That's the one thing that I don't know if I liked about it is that Kevin Knox asked to play in the summer league, and it was,
Yeah, Kevin Knox supposedly either he got hurt or there was some situation on his end where he couldn't play.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
he was supposed to be in the summer league, but he ended up backing out. I think it might have been injury or something like that.
yeah, it's obviously why he wanted to do it because he knows that they weren't gonna bring him back. He's not in the future plan of the Knicks, so him wanting to play in the summer league was a way, to show people his ability. And I do think that he's not gonna get money, but I'm pretty much sure that whenever the Knicks are done with him or whatever they include him in whatever deal or something, he'll get a second round pick or somebody else will give him a shot because again he's got a skill set. It just like he just doesn't fit the Knicks. But if he was on a team like the Lakers where he goes stand in the corner and shoot, that
Yeah,
might
that's
that
one
might be
thing.
better for him.
Knox gets in trouble when he has to think. If you make Knox, you simplify the game for him, and like you said, let him stand in the corner or make quick moves. Once Kevin Knox has to think and he has to dribble a couple of times, then that's when he's already in trouble. If
Well,
you make Kevin Knox dribble more than 3 times on a possession, he's in trouble.
but
If he gets the ball and go, because the guy is athletic too.
Right.
Let's not forget that Ben Simmons dunk. Remember, a year or two ago where he jumped over Simmons and knocked Simmons on the floor, dunked it on him. Knox could jump. It's just that he doesn't have the dribbling ability to get to the hole to do it. If you get him on the pass and he can just go or just catch and shoot, then the guy he's pretty good.
it's the sad thing about it, and that's one of the reasons why you got to let him go. Because exactly what you just said, you've been in the league for 3 or 4 years, and you making millions of dollars, and you can't invest $10,000 to go work with Drew Hanlon or one of these other ball handling dudes over the
Yeah,
summer.
see,
Like
that's one
you
guy I
got players
haven't
that go with
seen.
them every summer. Like Anthony Davis handles the ball better than than Kevin Knox. I watch Mitchell Robinson cross people over dribbling better than Kevin Knox.
He should be
So
Kevin Knox, and he's one of the guys who I haven't seen. I was speaking about how much work I see these guys putting in. I've seen some videos of Knox, but it's usually him working on his jumper and stuff like
taking the
that.
same shots, doing what we know he can do already.
Yeah, he should be with. I want to see him with Brickley, or
The
somebody
craziest
like
part,
that, a trainer working on some of those moves, but I haven't seen it. Maybe
it's
he is,
scary.
and the footage just isn't out there.
Yeah,
Knox definitely a guy that should have stayed in school one more year for sure. He wasn't ready to come out. But that being said, I'm actually got questions on why we're still in the Knicks right now. Um, do you think that the Sims draft pick or Sims pick has put Mitchell on notice?
I
Yeah,
mean,
I would say based on his summer league performance, initially it was kind of like, all right, he was drafted 58th pick, right? He may be in the Westchester Knicks or whatever the case may be, but this guy, he has the
no, he's gonna
jumping
be on the
ability
roster.
like Mitch, if not higher, right? I would say, I don't know. Mitch kind of bulked up supposedly in the offseason. So he's a little
Yeah,
stronger supposedly, but Sims has an NBA ready body right now already. This guy
Yeah,
is a monster out there.
he can
yeah,
So yeah, I
finish
think,
too.
and he's gonna be cheap, right? Mitch is gonna be looking to get paid,
yeah.
whether he starts or not. Mitch is up for a contract, so
Well,
he's gonna want to get paid. And Sims
he,
is, a
you know who
lot
Mitch
cheaper
is
than Mitch.
represented by, right? Mitch is a Clutch Sports client.
Mm, you and your theories, man.
Yeah, don't worry about it. The Lakers will be getting better soon.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. Somebody go down, man. I'm quite sure to make a phone call to New York, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, the Dwight Howard for Mitchell Robinson. Like, We'll get you a first round pick in 2029.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And yeah, I mean,
Either that, we're gonna make him sit out for the rest of the season.
Mitch's big thing isn't his talent; it's his durability. That, and I always see these videos of him working on certain things in the off season, and then it's like he gets in the games and he's afraid to at least attempt it.
Yeah, you know, shooting the kids will kill her. He shoot a 3-point, man. Kids will take his head off, man. Do that at
I at least
YMCA
want to
is
see him
all.
shoot a mid
Yeah, you
range.
do that at YMCA is all good. You working out with Carmelo, LeBron, and them crew at a gym somewhere, and Chelsea Pearson, where that's cool, man. But don't be doing that if you caught with Tibbs out there, man, at the Garden.
As soon as you do that, you go,
I
Right?
think that's one of the
Go
things
get
the
him.
Knicks. I think that's one of the things now they may not need it as much because they got Kemba and Fournier, but that's one of the things that hurt them in the playoffs is that Capella was just sitting back in that paint.
Right.
Because
Right.
Noel and Mitch, neither one of them could shoot. So
Right.
Capella was pretty much playing illegal defense, every
Mhm.
possession. It wasn't
Facts.
being called, and I can't blame him. So he
Right.
was
Yeah,
just
you
sitting
have to
back,
defend
waiting
nobody.
for Rose, waiting for Randall, Barrett, waiting for these guys to penetrate
Mm.
Yeah.
because he had nobody to make him step away from the basket. Todd Gibson, who could hit a shot that was a big on the perimeter for the Knicks. Now that strategy won't necessarily work because you have guys who could create. You got Kemba, right? You got Fournier. So that strategy.
RJ, even RJ too. RJ
Yeah,
and
RJ is
Burks.
getting better with creating his own shot.
I got the deal for you. You send Mitch to the Bulls for Laurie Markkinen.
You know what? Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that because marketing adds what we don't have, which is a big who can hit that 3-pointer. Now you gotta, that spreads the court.
Yeah.
Now RJ Barrett looks a lot better because the paint isn't congested. Randall can get to that basket.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. That's a good one. And you also too, you don't need everybody to play tip defense 1 through 5, man. You got somebody who could stretch that floor out, man. So you don't need 5 great defenders out there. I know I'm quite sure Tibbs would love that though, but that'll work though. That sounds good.
Usually, if you got 5
the
lockdowns,
old Chicago
that means
Bulls,
you got 2.5 scorers. 5
gotta be
lockdown defenders on the court is 2.5 scorers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't need 5 deep on defense.
Right, exactly.
Coming off the bench, then we good.
I don't know about that.
He's like, I don't even know about that. So the last thing, real quick, we want to talk about is USA pulled it out, or should I say Kevin Durant and crew, or Kevin Durant and the Pips or something pulled it out or something. I mean, to me, you hear all the stories about the world caught up and everything else. I mean, I do think it's a combination. I think the world caught up, but I also think we sent kind of like a team of perennial losers. So, well, I mean, what do you guys think about what happened with that?
Yeah, to me, they were lacking any type of leadership. It seems like from a player standpoint, not so much like Pop. Even though I don't think Pop's system was working out too well with the roster that he had over there. I think Pop probably needed to adjust his offensive system. Like that whole, hold the ball 3 seconds. If nothing is there, pass it, cut. All of that is great, but these guys are mostly ISO players, So I think Pop could have did a better job adjusting his offense to cater to the players they had. But outside of that, I think the players on the court, I don't think they had much leadership. And I go back to that video of KD and Bam Adebayo arguing over, KD supposedly making the 3-pointer and Adebayo grabbing the ball, not giving it back to him. And I think the chemistry was off, the leadership was off. But like you said, KD stepped up and led him. And I think Jason Tatum did well down the stretch too in that game. But a lot of those guys too, they didn't have Olympic experience either, right? So a lot of those guys, it was their first time over there too. So adjusting the plan with all of those type of players is a big adjustment. Like D Book came from the finals, right? Where he was the guy with the ball in his hands every single possession, just about. Now he's sitting in the corner waiting to see if he's going to get the ball or not. he may go up and down the court 3, 4, 5 times without touching the ball. So I think a lot of those guys had to adjust to that type of thing too.
I think the addition of Drew Holiday was a difference more than
Yeah,
Booker or Middleton. I think him on defense guarding those European dudes, they wasn't ready for that, man. And he made a lot of big shots too as well, control the team. Made good decisions as well. I don't know if those guys will win it without Drew Holiday.
yeah,
Tell you the truth, Booker played well as games went on. He shot well as games went on. He shot well, even in the chip game. Him and Durant, saying got hot. But there's nothing like another guy who make good decisions, play good defense, and Lillard don't play defense.
No.
He was getting cooked.
and
He was
supposedly
going
I
at
had
Lillard
some
no
groin
problem.
injury or something too.
I think the Drew Adam Drew from the final was a key point, man. And think about it, he got there. He kind of started right away. So he got
Yeah,
there. He started right
yeah,
away. So I tell you right now, what they was lacking, so to speak, though. But talent wise, USA was a better team. But Australia, man, listen, they came close, man. They couldn't make no big shots. They was playing defense because USA went a whole fourth quarter, a good half fourth quarter, half third quarter, not scoring any points.
Yeah.
yeah.
But Australia couldn't score as well. So eventually they got hot and pulled it out.
Yeah. They had the you heard the joke, right? What's it they so Udoka's the coach of the Boston Celtics or something. And Patty Mills is going to the Nets. And when they beat him, what's the name? Udoka's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We know how to stop you.
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
told him we know how to shut you down. So
Well, you ain't lying, man.
Because in their Patty Mills in their medal game, didn't Patty Mills go off like 40 or something crazy,
yeah,
right? He
yeah,
exploded in their
41
medal
points.
game.
Yeah. Patty Mills is a good player, man. I like Patty Mills.
Yeah, I always, a while back, wish the Knicks would have brought him in. I know we kind of like flirted with Patty Mills a couple of times, and I thought back then he would have been a great pickup for us.
Agreed.
So guys, again, another great night with you guys. Any final words, Ray?
Just let's go Knicks. Besides the Knicks, I'm looking forward to seeing my Jets play. Football season is coming up, so let's go Knicks, Jets. Hopefully the Yankees get into the playoffs. So let's go New York sports.
Yeah, it's good seeing you guys as usual talking sports. All you got to apology too. You was the viewers, man. I kept hitting the wrong button, man, on my phone. Man. I was trying to press mute, man, to tell my son something. I'm pressing leave with a big red X saying leave. And, so I guess I'm getting old, man. So all you got to apologize on that, man. Other than that, I want to say a few rest in peace to a few guys in legend of sports. Bobby Bowden, first day coach, legendary coach. He died at age 91. I knew him from a little kid, get into sports, watching sports, so he's part of my upbringing as a sports fan, watching him win chips and, going to the finals and was having a top team year in, year out. So rest in peace to Bobby Bowden. And I don't know if you guys remember a guy by the name of Gerald Richards, too, by the way. He was pitching for the Astros, man, back in the 70s. Great pitcher. He was like a black Randy Johnson, man, so to speak, from Randy Johnson. He was awesome. Through all our appearances, he suffered a stroke in 1980. Became homeless after a few divorce. He had a divorce and through bad business deals. He wanted to live under the highway 10 minutes from the Astrodome where he played for. In 94, so in 95, he was eligible for his pension, baseball pension. And while I came, he got a job and he got on his feet, man. But Jay Richards, man, YouTuber, man, he was awesome, man. Dominant. Blatant dominant, 6'7", 6'6", pitcher for the Astros, man. He was a great pitcher, man. So he died, COVID-related issues at the age of, I think he was, 71, I think he was, So a guy like him dying, man, it's like, damn, man. I remember having a little kid growing up, had a baseball card and watching pitch against the Astros, with the Astros and other teams, man. Kind of like, give me a quick flashback. So rest in peace to those two guys, man. That's for sure.
Nice. And for me, again, just to go with Bobby. I used to be a big Florida State football fan. So I got to see all those games and stuff like that. So he'll definitely be missed. For me, it was tough to see when he got dismissed from Florida State. Basically, they try to make it like it was a step down, but he basically got dismissed. So that was tough for me. And I was fortunate enough to go see the Jets green and white game.
Okay.
And I could say, I would temper our expectations as Jet fans as to what we see, what we expect to win. There's some interesting stuff going on with the Jets as far as Denzel Mims. I think he's the seventh receiver on the depth chart right now. He's like, what? Yeah, he's the seventh receiver on the depth chart. So there's more Jets hooligans and foolishness going on. I just hope that they have a good season. But
Fellas. I'm
yeah,
sorry, fellas. One more, let you go.
yeah,
Just answer it. The one I'll compare it. I have a comparison. Start one, trade one. That's it.
okay,
Prime for prime. Prime for prime. Forget injuries. Prime for prime.
okay.
Joe Johnson, Brandon Roy.
Ooh.
No, don't go in detail. Just start one, trade one. That's it. And we out of here.
Start Brandon Roy.
You say, Aim?
I think start Joe Johnson.
I figured a guy would split that up. I figured that. I'm biased, so I'm gonna say Brandon Roy because I'm biased. I love Brandon Roy. I'm biased.
I love
So I'm
Brandon
gonna
Roy.
leave it at that. But I
Yeah,
love Joe Johnson too as well.
yeah. Hey, but thanks, guys, man. Another great show, man. Look forward to
Yeah,
talking to
man.
you guys
Yes,
soon.
sir.
Everybody have a great night.